What's up, man?
What's going on? Dude, it's so weird to me how the difference between um, what the sounds are for when we're recording on the computer versus when we're recording on my iPad. Because
Is
when
it
we're,
that much different?
yeah, because it's just when we're recording on the computer, it's a ding. And then when I'm recording on the iPad, it says, this call is being recorded.
Huh. Wow. Yeah, on mine, like I'm on a Chromebook, and even though I'm the one that prompts it, I just get the ding as well. So
Hmm. I wonder if it has anything to do with the fact that maybe because I'm using my AirPods. Maybe that's why.
I don't know. Maybe, yeah, because I'm old school. I love my wired earbuds. So
Yeah. But I mean, I'm using Apple Tech for recording, whether it's my computer or whether it's my laptop, or I mean my iPad. So that's just weird. But anyway,
yeah, yeah.
threw me off for a second there. But we've got a little PlayStation centric episode for you tonight, kids. Um, with the announcement of, was that my computer or yours?
I don't know. Didn't hear anything
I
or
just
see anything.
heard a little piano music in the background, like doodle.
No,
So
no, definitely
I'm
wasn't
just
me.
hearing shit. So all right, cool. My old age, I'm just hearing shit. Um, but yeah, we got a couple PlayStation announcements to talk about. One being the PlayStation 5 Pro has leaked, and we know that it's been announced now. And we've got some stats. We don't have the complete spec list, but just to compare how it compares to the PlayStation 5 and the Series X. Um, we've got a big time. We've got the price. We've got a big time surprise with it, and then we've got some more PlayStation stuff to discuss. But let's start with the big one. The PlayStation 5 Pro has been announced. It is coming out. It will be $700 at launch.
Yeah, that's just I don't know. And we're talking about something that of all the rumors about this thing seems to be the only thing that's confirmed from all points. So a $700 price tag is it's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't, dude. I can't spend $700 on a game system.
Now, and let's be honest here. This is a not a it's not a brand new system per se. Yes, it is in terms of hey, it's a PS5 Pro and not just a PS5. But it's still a PS5. It's just a upgraded model. It's the Pro model.
Right.
It's not. This is anything different that they've done. They did this with the PS4. Um, you know, I think the hard part for me is that you see what are some of the specs rumored out. Larger GPU, advanced ray tracing, some AI driven upscaling. Some pretty neat things, honestly. Um, but then you really start, breaking it down, and it's like, well, that it's fractions higher on RAM speed, for instance. Again, 28% faster RAM is what's being said right now. And the other thing that was coming out, you and I were discussing this before we started recording, 67% more compute units, which is cool if you look at it. But if you look at the original specs of the PS5, and even comparing it to the Xbox Series X, that 67% of the compute units actually brings it just over where the Xbox Series X is at now. So it's not like it's this revolutionary upgrade that I'm like, hey, here's $699.
Right. Right. And it's not like there's going to be games that you're not going to be able to play if you don't get this huge priced upgrade. Um, you're still going to be able to play the games. Yeah, they may not be as pretty, but you're, dude, are you really willing to? So right now, GameStop, I believe, gives $385 for a PS5. So $385, and then so another $315. Yeah, my math is great. So $315 plus your current PS5 gets you a disk driveless PS5 Pro. And then if you want that disk drive, you need to spend an additional, what is it, $80, $60, something like that.
Yeah, it's something stupid. It's more money.
It's
It's now
yeah,
you're getting into the $800 range.
right.
Um,
And it's not even like it's just the same slim the same disk drive that you're using if you upgrade your PS5 Slim, the digital only, to a disk drive version.
right, and you've said this a couple times on here. You basically that's not code. It's coded in, isn't it? Is it not? Like you have to register it.
Yeah, it's got to be registered. And so, like, say you decide 10 years from now you want to play your PlayStation 5 and you boot it up and it's been a while or whatever, and you have to replace that drive because the drive goes bad, and you plug the new drive in and there's nothing to connect to code it to the system. So then you're just completely boned.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. So I'm looking at the specs on this thing. The rumors to be confirmed, if you will. Um, the CPU doesn't seem to be any different itself. There is, obviously we've already discussed, faster RAM and more to the GPU. The other difference I am seeing is that you have an upgrade on the Wi-Fi, but let's be honest here. And I don't know what the difference really would be to the average person of saying, "Hey, Wi-Fi 6 versus Wi-Fi 7." Then, unless you're just keeping up with the times as best you possibly can, and you're replacing your equipment in your house about every year, um, not everyone at this point is running stuff that's going to be even compatible with Wi-Fi 7, let alone Wi-Fi 6 in some cases.
Right.
So you're talking about other upgrades that you would have to bring to your own home network or wherever you have this thing, just to get the usage out of that. Still has expandable storage, and it also supports external storage. And like you said, optional disk drive. And if you want that disk drive, like I said, it brings it closer to that $800 mark. I don't get it. So I'm going to preface this with I had a PS4. I got a PS4 Pro just for the sheer fact of the virtual reality. I wanted a good PS4 Pro so I could do the PSVR with it at the time, and it was good. The price point to me was fair at the time, and I actually took my regular PS4 and donated it at the time to our esports program. And so I did, I knew I was going to get a lot for it anyway. So I was like, I'm just going to donate it, and there's another console. They can have this backup or whatever. So I was kind of all in on that, for the VR stuff, and hey, this is faster, this is whatever, and the price point at the time when I paid for it was not terrible. However, I see this, and it's like, I use my PS5 pretty much every day. I run all my media through it, whether that's YouTube TV, Netflix, whatever, and then I game on it, and so do my kids. So it's used all the time. That to that point, though, it's running fine. I don't have any issues with it whatsoever. And this announcement of the PS5 Pro, whether or not some of this stuff remains to be seen. Again, some of this stuff isn't confirmed yet. Dude, I can't do it for as I want to. I'd want an optical with it, and I can't do that for $800. I just don't see it.
No. And I just double checked the website. It is $80 for the
So $779 plus tax, and that's if you don't trade in your current system anywhere. I guess you could sell it for a few $100, 350 or whatever. I guess if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Dude, I just
place a 380 at GameStop is what they give you.
And that's going to go down
PS5.
Once people start, if they really, these hardcore gamers that want this thing, they're going to start flood the market, and that price is going to drop.
Right. So, dude, it's just, I really don't see, this is kind of, to me, this is the third major misstep that Sony's made in this generation. The first being the PSVR 2 launching at the price point that it launched at. The second being the Portal just existing.
Yeah.
And then now we've got the $700 PS5 Pro.
Yeah.
And I can't for the life of me tell you who these products are for, other than like people who just absolutely have an inordinate amount of disposable income and have to have the newest thing that releases every single time it releases.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I guess if, hey, part of this upgrade on the Pro, the price is because, oh, yeah, it does, unconfirmed, but appears that it comes with a 2 terabyte of storage, which that was one of the downfalls to the PS5 itself, because you had 825 gigs of onboard. So this is more than doubling that. But you can get around that with your expandable memory, your external storage, your whatever. You're basically catering to exactly the audience you just said, people that have, just an inordinate amount of income and or time, or that are just hardcore fans. They're like, oh, I need to get this because it's just a new Sony product, whatever. I certainly don't see myself entertaining this unless it's out for a while, and my luck, the price will drop, and then the PS6 is announced. So that's kind of
that's pretty much what's going to happen. Is these things are going to sit around for a while, and then PS6 is going to come out, and when they become affordable, it's going to be because the PS6 is here, and at that point, who knows? Maybe it's worth it to get one, but at this point, I can't see it. Especially when Sony also announced, to coincide with the PS5 or PS5 Pro, that on direct.playstation.com, they're going to be selling the original model PS5, both the disc-based system and the digital edition, refurbished. And so the refurbished disc-based is going to be $400. The digital edition is $349.99. And then not only that, but they're also selling the dual senses. And the dual senses, the white and black ones, are going to be $59.99 a piece. And the different colors, so far they have listed purple, magenta, or pink, whatever that color is, and black and gray camo are going to be $64.99.
And those are all refurbished as well.
Yep.
Yeah, and hey, it's cool they're doing it. I mean, now you might actually be able to, at least get to another part of your audience, if you will, with a cheaper price point rather than the other way.
Yeah.
Because that could be a good thing for people that, like, system broke or whatever, and
if I'd have known they were going to be doing that, I'd have held out and not gotten a slim, and I would have just bought a refurbished fat one.
Yeah. I'm almost surprised that they're doing it, but I get it, hey, from the sense of maybe in their own heads the Pro won't sell that well, which can't imagine it would. So let's try to make some additional monies, because really those price points aren't far off what they were new. So they're going to be making some coin off refurbs, I would think.
And I'm wondering how many of them, they're not thinking, oh, well, we'll get people trading in their PS5, their originals, towards the PS5 Pro, and we'll start refurbing them and turning them back around.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. It's interesting. I'm a big Sony guy. I've had every iteration of every console that they've released, outside of like some of the variants, like I might not have had a slim model, or I might not have had a certain things there. Like I didn't have the some custom release that was only in Japan. I'm not that kind of person, but I had every generation of console to play to this point, and this is the first time where it's like I waited on the PS4 Pro, and that was more because of the VR stuff. I just don't see myself ever getting this for unless God forbid my PS5 just died, and I was like, I'll just go ahead and get this one, but that would have to be within the next 6 months to a year. Even then, I might consider a refurb. So,
Yeah. Oh, dude, I would 100% go refurb before I would go with the 7.
yeah, man,
Or with the 7. With the
well, yeah, hey man,
with
that's
the
a good.
$700
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the PS5 7. That's what it is. It's a $700 system. And here's the part that gets me too. And like you said, we've already brought this up, but the whole registration of the optical drive, which you've talked about, that just bothers me. Really, really bothers me.
Yeah.
So not a fan of that. But hey, to each their own, I guess. I hope whoever gets this really, really loves it. But there is a funny thing. You and I were going back and forth looking at different articles on this stuff, and this cracked me up. There's a line in the Tech Radar article, so it's from TechRadar.com, and it details, the unconfirmed or semi-confirmed or whatever PS5 Pro specs. And there's a couple lines in here. This I think you'll enjoy. The PS5 Pro, starting life out as an all-digital console, by almost default demands this feature. Better Wi-Fi for playing and downloading a digital library is vital. This might also offer a benefit to those who'll be combining a PlayStation Portal with their new PS5 Pro.
Hey.
And there's your audience right there.
Yep. That's it. I guess that's it. Like shit.
If you were stupid enough to buy the PS5 or the Portal, we've got something for you now.
Wait till you see what we've got now.
I love that though. It cracked me up. I was like reading that little blurb about their Wi-Fi upgrade and was like, really? Like that's because like I work in IT and I never have the nicest phone, and I have a couple generations behind home network purposely because look, everything I have just works. I don't need it to be the fastest. I don't need it to be the best. It just works. So guess what? Every time I boot up my PS5 that runs off my first generation Google Wi-Fi, network that's on a fairly new Netgear cable modem, I don't ever have any issues streaming anything, and I'm not cabled in at all, or playing games online,
right?
Ever. I just don't see what the actual benefit is. I just don't. I don't know.
Well, dude, I've got an iMac from 2020, and it runs on the Intel Silicon, and it still runs great. And it does everything I need it to do. Could I upgrade to one of the newer ones that runs on Apple? Yeah, I could, but why?
Yeah.
Why when it works perfectly fine?
Yeah, exactly. That's and I think the same could be said for current PS5 owners. I don't know. Hey, look, if you've got $1,000 laying around, go for it. I guess that you're going to do whatever. Personally, if I did, I think I would just bet it on sports and buy alcohol. But
but dude, sure,
yeah, but I don't know, man. It's just a tough sell for me. I don't dig it.
So I wanted to talk about something else that we kind of touched on yesterday too, or the last episode rather, which we recorded yesterday. So remember we were talking about Nintendo and their release schedule for the holiday season and how it looks kind of barren, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just brought up what they're actually releasing. There is going to be a Nintendo Switch OLED bundle that's coming out with, I believe, Super Mario Odyssey, and it's going to be all white. So it's going to have white Joy-Cons, and I believe the system itself is going to be white also, which I have certain feelings about that. I think it would look really cool, but for a handheld console, I think you're inviting disaster for Cheeto hands. But so here's everything that they've got listed so far for the rest of the year. Ready?
Okay, go for it.
September 26th, we get Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom, along with a Nintendo Switch Lite Hyrule Edition. So it's gold with black buttons and everything, and black sticks.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get anything else until October 17th, when we get the Joy-Cons charging stand. Sorry, let me read that not like an idiot. Joy-Con charging stand, and then in parentheses, two-way. So I don't know what that means, but I know that it's basically an official charging stand for the Joy-Cons, finally, from Nintendo, after relying on third parties to do it since what, 2017, 2016?
I was gonna say it's been since release.
Yeah. And then that same day, Super Mario Party Jamboree comes out. Right.
Which that's definitely what I'm eyeballing for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Then we go to November 7th, and we get Mario and Luigi Brothership. All right, cool. So we're getting about one a month here. That's it's a slow drip, but at least it's something.
Right.
Then all that's left on their schedule is Donkey Kong Country Returns HD on January 16th of 2025. And then to be announced to be determined in 2025, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond and Pokemon Legends Z through A, or ZA. I don't know how that's supposed to be pronounced. So there is a gigantic gap in here between November and January, where I don't know, the biggest holiday of the year is, right? For at least for retail is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
So what could possibly fall into that spot?
I don't know, man. Let's see. It's got to be something that we discussed.
Dude, I know they've been saying that it's not coming out this year. I just have a hard time believing that Nintendo, one of the biggest, producers of video game hardware in the world, is going to go into December and the Christmas and Hanukkah shopping season with 3 games having come out since September.
Yeah, I find that hard to believe too. And look, you and I have talked about Switch 2 rumors time and time again. We've talked about it with Rich. We just most recent episode we did, and we even hinted on it that it would potentially be released prior to Christmas, and for that reason too. Hey, it's the holiday season. If there is that much of a gap, then that has to be it. And one of the things that we discussed many, many, many episodes ago, it's been many months, was Nintendo basically getting things together, getting parts together, pieces together to build this new Switch 2 out. Something tells me this thing's been built, it's warehouse, ready to go. Because Nintendo was notorious for using older tech. So it's there. Yeah. So, I mean,
it's come down to the point where they had said they weren't going to need a big run up. Like, they know internally Switch 2 is going to be a hit no matter what.
Yep.
So why not drop it this holiday season? Let it hit, let it explode, let everybody scramble over it. Meanwhile, you still have these 3 games. I mean, I guess that's the only thing I can say, is that maybe they want the third party developers would like some time to announce it so that they can announce their games and everything.
Right.
That's the only thing, the only roadblock I can think of to them announcing it for the holiday season.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I don't know. It is interesting though, because otherwise, other than these rumors of the PS5 Pro, Mario Party, the Mario Luigi game, a couple of these other, things, really in video game world, there isn't a whole lot to be excited about. Like as far as like uber excitement, at least for me, moving into the holiday season of 2024. So it would be cool to get like, ooh, yes, this is being released for a Switch 2, for example. I think that would really, kind of put a shot in. Now, would I run out and get it? I don't think so, but you know, um, who knows? I might, because if the price point's nice, nicer than $700.
Well, the price point is 400. They've got the two price points, the 400, and then somewhere below that, which I'm assuming is going to be like 350.
Right? Yeah, we discussed that. That's right. That's right.
Now, the other thing that could maybe they're doing is like a PS5 Pro esque thing where they do maybe a Switch Pro that is $400 and a Switch 2 that is 350. But no, you know what? I can't see them doing that. That to me, that would scream Wii U all over again. And you don't want to screw that up again. But it'll be interesting to see what happens, because they're saying the two SKUs, the one for $400, the one for 350. So we'll see what they do. But I just have a hard time believing that Nintendo's not going to have something to fill that gap between November and January.
No, I firmly agree. So I don't know. It'd be cool. It'd be kind of cool to see where this stuff goes. Where we sit here in the next month or so. I'm sure we'll get more rumors, more hearsay, whatever. But look, we're still 3 months and change away from the perceived biggest holiday, if you will. But no, there's let's just kind of see where these chips fall. But I'm also a big person of where there's smoke, there's a little fire too. So I do think we'll get something. I also think that we're stuck in a culture of immediacy, so we expect these things like right now. Like, hey, I want that news right now. I'm guilty of it. Now you are too. But I guess let's just kind of see where the next month goes, because then I always think you tend to see the interesting things start to fall around Halloween and right afterward, and then it really starts rolling. So, who knows?
Who knows?